welcome to Yoga Mama. Today I'm going to share with you some different ways of modifying the classic Sun Salutation as well as the Sun Salute A and B so that it will feel best for your pregnant body. So for the first one, we're going to come to standing at the front side of the mat. Now, you'll want to have a block toward the front of your mat, and for later on, it's best to have a block toward the back of your mat too. But for this classic variation, you'll probably just use the one block or maybe no block at all. So I'll show you some different ways to include that. First of all, you'll want to have your feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart as you're beginning off here in mountain pose. This will give your belly a little more space when you're folding forward, and it's also a little more supportive for your lower back. So you can come into your Ujjayi breath if you're familiar with it, or simply breathe in and out through the nose. With an inhale, stretch your arms up overhead, coming to high mountain. Exhale, bring a slight bend to your knees and open the arms wide as you fold from your hips, and hands can touch down to the mat, or to modify more, hands to the thighs or block. Inhale, lift up halfway so hands can come to the shins. Lengthen your spine, and exhale, fold, bringing your hands to a block inside of your feet. Inhale, step back with your left foot and lower your knee down to your mat. So you're in a lunge, lifting your heart. Exhale, step back with the right foot, and the hands can come to your mat, and lift your knees up. So you're in downward facing dog. Inhale, bring your shoulders forward, lower your knees down to table pose. And exhale, bring your chest forward, bend your elbows back for Chaturanga. Inhale, straighten your arms and curl the head and tail back to cow pose. With your toes tucked, exhale, lift the knees up, down dog. Inhale, bring the knees down, hands back to your block. And exhale, step the left foot forward to your lunge. Take one breath here. And with your back toes tucked, exhale to lift the back knee and step the back foot forward. Then you can move your block forward so your belly's got a little more space for you to fold. Inhale, lift halfway up. And exhale, fold. Keep a slight bend at your knees, and inhale, reverse swan dive, rise all the way up to standing. And exhale, bring the hands to prayer in front of your heart. So this is a good way to modify the classic Sun Salute if you're taking a regular class. Because we're starting at the front of the mat and making our way back to the front of the mat, this is best for those of you that are not quite that far along yet, but starting to feel the need to make a little more space for your belly. So if you are getting further along, you can actually start at the back of your mat, and you can have one block by your side at the back of your mat and then another block toward the front of your mat. Again, you'll want your feet wider than hip distance if you're in second trimester, and if you're in third trimester, take your feet even wider. So now we're going to be practicing the Sun Salute A. So typically, this involves jumping back into Chaturanga and then jumping forward into a forward fold. We're going to be skipping all of that jumping and modifying this quite a bit so that you're comfortable and safe in your prenatal yoga practice. So you can begin with hands in prayer or arms by your side. And inhale to stretch the arms up, high mountain pose. Exhale, slight bend to the knees and swan dive forward, hands to the thighs, your block or your mat. Inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale, bring your hands to your mat and walk them forward so that you come into down dog. Inhale, lower your knees down right below your hips, and your hands are right below your shoulders in table pose. Exhale and round your spine, lifting your baby up away from the floor as you sink your hips down towards your heels. Your knees might need to go wider. Inhale, bend your elbows and glide your chest forward and up to cow pose. With your feet apart and toes tucked, exhale, lift the knees, down dog. We'll take 3 to 5 breaths here. A lot of times in pregnancy, there's pressure in the head when we're upside down. So if you start to feel that, lift your head and look toward the front of your mat and see if that's enough to alleviate that pressure. If not, you can also practice down dog with your hands on your blocks on any of their heights, whatever helps you to feel most comfortable in this inversion. Let's take one more breath here. And on the exhale, walk your hands back toward your feet with a slight bend at your knees. Inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, rise all the way up. And exhale, bring the hands to prayer in front of your heart. So next we're practicing the Sun Salute B, which involves chair pose and warrior one and a lot of chaturangas. So I wanted to make sure that you know that this sequence of vinyasa that we just took, where we inhaled to table, exhaled to cat pose, and then the hips went back toward the heels, and then an inhale to come up to cow pose. That is a great way to modify the vinyasa of any yoga practice for pregnancy. So you can include that in our next Sun Salutation, or you can try that first one that we did where it's more like a classic chaturanga with the upper arms coming to the sides of the body. And that's the way I'm going to teach it this time, but know that you can do it either way. And I'm going to show you this 2 times so you can see a slightly more modified way of doing it and a more athletic, challenging way to do it if you're still feeling like you've got a lot of energy and strength. So starting with hands together in prayer, we'll come through the more modified version first, is I think how I want to do it. So inhale, take a deep bend to your knees and reach the arms up overhead to chair pose. Exhale, swan dive forward, hands down to your mat or use a block. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, walk the hands forward, coming into down dog. Inhale, lower the knees, table pose. And exhale, round the spine, take the knees wide as you sink the hips back toward the heels. Inhale, scoop the heart forward and up to cow. And with the feet apart, exhale, back to down dog. Inhale, come to table pose and bring your hands to a block. And exhale to step the right foot forward. With the left toes tucked, you can bring your heel down as you lift the knee. Right hand to the thigh, inhale, lift the left arm and then the right arm up, warrior one. And exhale, bring the hands down, the right hand to the thigh first and then to the block. Lower the left knee. And inhale, step back to table pose. Exhale, round your spine, sink your hips down towards your heels. And inhale, scoop your heart forward and up to cow. With your toes tucked and feet apart, exhale, lift the knees, down dog. Inhale, table pose, hands to your block. Exhale, left foot forward and lift the right knee up to bring the heel down. Left hand to the thigh, inhale, reach the right arm, then the left arm up for warrior one. And exhale, bring the left hand to the thigh as you lower the right hand down. And then once the left hand's on the block, you can lower the right knee. Inhale, step back into table. And exhale, round the spine, sink the hips down. Inhale, glide the chest forward and up, cow pose. And with the toes tucked, exhale, lift the knees, down dog. Take 3 to 5 breaths here. Next, exhale. Walk your hands back towards your feet, keeping a little bend at your knees. And then inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Deep bend to the knees. Inhale, sweep the arms up, chair pose, Utkatasana. And exhale, straighten the legs as you bring the arms down, hands come to prayer. So this next variation is little modification, but still modified for pregnancy. So we are starting at the back of the mat still. Sun Salute B. Inhale, take a deep bend to the knees and sweep the arms up overhead, chair pose. Exhale, swan dive forward into Uttanasana or forward bend. Inhale, lift halfway. Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Exhale, walk the hands forward, downward facing dog. Inhale, look up at your hands and step the hands close together Exhale, bring the right foot forward outside of the hand and your left heel down with toes slightly to the side. Inhale, sweep the arms up, warrior one. Remember, you can use the hands on the front thigh to help you come up. Exhale, bring the hands down, either at the same time or one at a time. Now lower the back knee and inhale to step into table pose. Exhale, bring your chest forward and bend your elbows back for modified chaturanga. Inhale, straighten the elbows and curl your head and tail back to cow pose. With your toes tucked, exhale, lift the knees, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward, bring the hands together. Exhale, left foot comes outside of the left hand and the right heel comes down. Inhale, rise up to standing warrior one. Exhale, bring the hands down inside of the left foot and lower the right knee. Inhale, step back to table pose. Exhale, bring the chest forward, bend the elbows back. Chaturanga. Inhale, straighten the arms, curl the head and tail back. And with the toes tucked, exhale, lift the knees, down dog. Take 3 breaths here. One more inhale. And with the knees slightly bent, exhale, walk the hands back toward the feet. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, fold. Deep into the knees, inhale, sweep the arms up, chair pose. And exhale, bring the arms down as you straighten the legs, hands come to prayer. And breathe. Notice how you feel. So, there's many ways to modify the sun salutations for pregnancy. You can try them all, and the sun salutation can be a practice in and of itself. So that might be all that you do on your mat for that day, or it can be the way that you warm up. So give that all a try. Let me know if you have any questions or any suggestions of how to better modify it for you. Thank you so much for joining me, and enjoy the rest of your day.